The thing you notice above all about the Greeks is their absolute passion for life, and it's never more apparent than at Easter. Here on the small Aegean island of Alonissos, the whole population comes together for midnight mass, and to celebrate Christos Anesti, Christ is risen. It launches a weekend of feasting, music, dancing, but above all, eating.
There's an official start to the barbecue season. This is it. It's a real community activity. It's all happening here as friends and families gather for Al Fresco, a paniere. To me and you, that's festival. You know, Easter just wouldn't be Easter in Greece without the wonderful aromas of spit-roasted lamb filling the air. They cook these for about 3 hours, but first they take some lemon juice and squeeze it onto the meat, fresh thyme, salt and pepper, and slowly it's cooked until it's beautiful and tender.
And it's not just meat. Other Easter specialities include a pie filled with wild spring greens and feta cheese flavoured with dill or fennel. The greens, or horta as they're called, can include spinach, dandelion leaves, sorrel and rocket. No two pies are ever the same, as each cook gathers their own ingredients from the surrounding hills and fields. Cooked over an open fire, it's surely the perfect picnic food.
Hey! Hordobita. Quite superb layers of phyllo pastry with greens and cheese. It ain't half good here, I tell you.
There's a fascinating history behind a lot of dishes, and there's a wildness and romance behind the origins of a modern favourite, Kleftiko. The name comes from Kleftes, members of the Greek resistance who fought the Turks in the 19th century. Concealed in hillside hideouts, they cooked their lamb in the hot embers of an underground fire, loosely covered with soil, so that the smell of cooking meat and smoke wouldn't give them away. Nowadays, Kleftiko is cooked in traditional clay ovens, but I'm going to show you an easy way to cook it on the barbie. First, take some lamb, cut into chunks and place into a large bowl. Pour over some delicious Greek olive oil and squeeze in the juice of 1 small lemon. Finally, chop some fresh oregano and thyme and sprinkle liberally onto your meat. Next, add some crushed garlic and give it a good old stir. And finally, a generous seasoning of salt and freshly ground black pepper. And, if you have the time, allow it to marinate for an hour or 2. Place a portion of the meat on a large square of extra thick foil. Sprinkle on some chopped fresh tomatoes, seeded and skinned, and top with a slice or 2 of kefalotieri cheese. The pecorino is a good substitute, or if you like, an English goat's cheddar. Finish with a bay leaf, scrunch your foil to seal your parcels and place directly onto medium hot coals for about 40 minutes. When your parcels are nearly ready, score some pita bread and grill until golden brown on both sides. Spoon over some melted garlic and parsley butter and briefly warm through for a minute or so, then slice into fingers and serve with your Kleftiko parcels. Absolutely delicious. And to follow, here's an utterly scrumptious idea for a pud using figs, honey, Greek yogurt and almonds. When your figs are juicy and tender after about 15 minutes, spoon over some creamy Greek yogurt and sprinkle over the toasted almonds and serve immediately. would have thought of serving yoghurt instead of double cream with a pudding a few years ago? Well, that was before the good old Greek yoghurt revolution. It's thick, rich and creamy, not like that thin, low-fat stuff which was all you used to get. When you've been milking sheep all your life like Katina, who lives in the village of Stenivala, persuading reluctant sheep to cooperate is par for the course.
They're all coming in now, aren't they, eh?
But if your name's Harriott, not Harriott, it ain't that easy.
Can't get hold of it. Come here. Enough there for a cup of coffee, isn't there? That's it. It's good. Pull it.
Thankfully, Katina's efforts were rewarded with enough milk for her to make me some of her legendary yoghurt. Now, if you've really got nothing else to do and you fancy having a go, it's quite a simple process. First, bring the milk to the boil, then simmer for about 30 minutes. You can use sheep's milk, cow's or goat's milk. That's totally left up to you. Now, to make yoghurt, you need a little bit of old yoghurt called a starter. Dilute it with a little bit of warm milk and add it to your dish. Cover and leave it in a warm place for a few hours and then it's ready. If only I had the time.
Δοκιμάστε το γιαούρτι.
Oh, thank you, Katrina. Nostimo. Delicious, delicious.
Yogurt is the basis for the delicious and healthy dip tzatziki, which goes beautifully with barbecued meat.
Παίρνουμε το σκόρδο.
Garlic.
Garlic.
Ah.
Σκόρδο Greek. Και τα κόβουμε λίγο άνηθο.
Anitho. In Anglica, we say dill. Keep the skin on the cucumber for little colour.
Τώρα παίρνουμε πιάτο.
Squeezing out all the water out of the cucumber. See, that's why yours is so runny. Make sure you take out all that juice. It's interesting you grate the garlic, huh? Oh, now that was the secret. A little bit of oil and a touch of vinegar makes all the difference to your tzatziki. Finito?
Finito.
Oh, so easy. Katina's easy tzatziki.
Good, eh?
Very good.
Olives have been cultivated for more than 3,000 years. For centuries, the fruit they bear has provided one of the purest foods of all time, good old olive oil. It's the prime reason why the Greeks do so well in the good health stakes. And nowadays, with so many varieties in our supermarkets, we're simply spoilt for choice. But the best, without doubt, is the cold-pressed extra virgin. It's like buying a good vintage wine.
These trees aren't in fruit yet, but come November, they'll be groaning under the sheer weight of juicy, delicious, fat black olives. And boy, do they taste good.
You might not find these particular ones in your supermarket, but the choice is improving all the time, from crinkly black ripe ones to smooth, crunchy green. Oh, they're absolutely my favourite. And as for olive oil, it's the staple ingredient for most Greek dishes, and if you're planning to cook any of these recipes on this programme, you'd better rush out and get a bottle now, pronto. Use it to make a classic Greek marinade. To 4 tablespoons of olive oil, add the finely chopped zest and juice of 1 lemon, 2 cloves of crushed garlic, and 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh oregano or thyme. Finally, add 1 teaspoon of honey and season with salt and freshly ground black pepper. Mix together and use as required on lamb, chicken, or, if you like, saltfish.
The Greeks love their barbecued meats, souvlaki, spit roast, but they also adore their favourite vegetable, the incredible, versatile aubergine. Now, just to show you how incredibly versatile the aubergine is, I'm going to do you 2 recipes on the barbecue. One is stuffed with feta rolls and cheese and tomato, quite delightful, and a beautiful aubergine dip. I've made a few fork holes at the stem there to stop it popping when it's on the barbecue. You want to keep it on there for about 20 or 30 minutes until the skin starts to blister. Pop those off. Now, my slices here, you can see that I haven't sliced that too thickly there, so they cook quite quickly. There they are. I'm just going to lay those on the board. And before they went onto the barbecue, I brushed them with a beautiful flavoured oil. Greek extra virgin olive oil is in there, some lemon zest, just grated very, very finely, and a clove of crushed garlic. Just mix that around and brush them on top onto the barbecue. Now, first I'm going to put a slice of tomato on top of our aubergine. Now, you can use plum tomatoes if you want it to instead. And next, a slice of feta cheese. You can get these so easy in your supermarkets now. Of course, if you wanted to, a good alternative would be mozzarella. And now for some basil. This is Greek basil. We're so used to the larger leaf variety, but here they just don't seem to use it in cooking very much. It's more used as a fragrance in their gardens, but it's absolutely delicious and it tastes exactly the same. Sprinkle some of those on top of the feta. Beautiful. And we're going to top that with some sun-dried tomatoes. It's not particularly popular in Greece, sun-dried tomatoes. You probably can't even get them here, but we've got them at home, so we can use them. That's it, lovely. And a bit of black pepper going on top. Now, you don't need to put salt on these because you've got the saltiness coming from the feta cheese and, of course, from your sun-dried tomatoes. Then I want you to take the ends and just fold those over. Join those with a cocktail stick, which is not imperative, but, of course, you'd have to be very, very careful when you turn them over on the barbecue. Lovely. And you just pop those on the edge of your barbecue there, those nice sort of medium to hot coals. We're really just warming that through to release some of those wonderful flavours. And that's only going to take about 2 or 3 minutes, including the turning. And now onto our aubergine dip. Look at that. It's been blistered, as I said. Just going to split that open and reveal that juicy flesh inside. Absolutely lovely. That's it. Got my nice wooden pestle and mortar here. Just going to pick that up and scrape that into the pot there. You can see a few of those little black bits might go with you. You can pull those out, but it all adds to all the sort of flavour and everything. And to that we're going to add juice of half a lemon. Then we drizzle in some virgin olive oil. That's it. Lovely. A clove of crushed garlic. A little pinch there of ground cumin. That's lovely. That's it. A teaspoon of chopped parsley. And a tablespoon of Katina's beautiful, creamy Greek yogurt. Now, that is optional, but it does give it a wonderful, creamy taste. Give that a bit of a mix. Oh, just turn over those feta rolls. So they really don't take long at all.
Lovely. Of course, some salt. And of course, some freshly ground black pepper. Oh, I can't beat it. Give that a good mix in there now, that seasoning, combining those flavours. And so often at home, the taramasalata or the hummus is the one that you go out and buy. But out here in Greece, this aubergine dip really is very, very popular. And I'm not surprised because the taste is... They certainly know what they're talking about. Lovely. Oh, now, let's get my feta rolls here. Beautiful. What a lovely appetite that is. Do you know, I think the waters surrounding Alonissos are the most beautiful I've ever seen. No wonder the whole area is a national marine park. I was lucky enough to enjoy a spot of the old sightseeing in the company of local fishermen, my mate Stamatis. The waters are very, very rich. Is that important to the economy of the island?
Next to tourists, fishing is the most important industry.
And how much are we actually talking about? How much money do you get out of this every year?
It could be around 100 million drachma.
Whoa, about 30 quid. That's a lot, isn't it?
Stamatis was right. These waters really are full of beautiful seafood, just like this squid. Now, this squid here is absolutely fresh. It just smells of the sea. And if it smells too fishy, it means that it's beginning to turn a little bit, so be aware of that. Now, I'm going to do your beautiful char grilled squid stuffed with rice, mint and spinach. It really tastes magnificent, and serving it with a delightful sweet and sour tomato sauce. Now, what I want you to do is to take a knife and just score it slightly, just run it across the skin like that, just piercing it ever so slightly. And turn around and do the same in the opposite direction. Now, you'll probably have difficulty getting hold of this in the supermarket, but I do know that they sell them frozen in these kind of tubes, ready cleaned in a Chinese supermarket. And of course from fishmongers and fish markets. Now, once you've done that, we're going to be frying off our onions and garlic to make up our sauce and of course to make our wonderful stuffing. Got my pan here, heating up a nice hot temperature over hot coals, so you really want to pay attention to that. Probably takes about 40 minutes to get to that stage. Drizzle some oil inside. That's it. Chopped onion, sprinkle that in. Lovely. Sizzle away, my darling. And of course, 1 clove of garlic. Just slide that garlic in there like that. That's it. Just sweat that down. Toss those around a little bit. That's beautiful. That's it, just to cook them. You don't want to overcook them. You just want to let them bleed a little bit, a little caramelised just on the edges, and that would be absolutely perfect. I'm going to take half of that into a bowl, and the other half I'll keep for my sauce. Now, in my saucepan here, I've got some wilted down spinach, a little bit of oil, torn up my spinach, just let it cook down about 3 or 4 minutes, and that is absolutely perfect there. We're going to take that and pop that into our bowl. That's perfect. I've got about 3 ounces of cooked rice. We're just going to sprinkle that inside. Again, if you're going to cook some rice, just cook it, refresh it under cold water. If it's still a little bit starchy, drizzle a little bit of oil in there and that will separate all the grains. Okay, bit of lemon juice, just going to squeeze that lemon juice on top. Lovely. I've also got here some nice fresh mint. Just going to chop that fresh mint up. Pick that up
pop that on top of our rice and spinach. Just sprinkle that in. Some pepper. Just give that a good mix, really mix that in well. And once you've given that stuffing a good mix, then we stuff our squid. Now it's a little bit difficult opening up this pocket, so get a spoon that it fits inside there. If not, if you're like me, use your fingers, because I like to use my fingers. And really pick that up and just force it all the way to the bottom of the tube. That's it, really force that in. That's lovely. And you probably notice sometimes that the slits have been cut just a little bit too deep and the stuffing starts to poke out, but don't let that put you off. Really, it's just to give it a nice effect when it goes onto the coals. Finally, get a cocktail stick. Once again, it's been soaked so it doesn't burn on the coals. And just try and prick that through to kind of lock up the end there. Just take a little bit of time just to twist that in. And that's lovely. That's beautiful. Once again, touch more pepper. A little bit more salt. Just going to drizzle on a little bit more oil. A drizzling of oil. That's it. Just rub that in now. Pop that on to your barbie. Perfect. And remember, you don't need to cook this too long, 5 or 6 minutes. Just rotate it around until it gets that lovely charcoal colour on it. If you cook it too long, it's going to get rubbery. So to avoid that, keep the cooking down. Okay, now back to our sauce. Onions and the garlic's cooked down there in the olive oil. Just going to sprinkle half a teaspoon of sugar in there. That's it. Just let that caramelise a little bit. And here I've got some sieved tomatoes. You can use a tin of tomatoes if you wanted to. Pour those in. Of course, if you've got some ripe tomatoes there that have been hanging around, chop those up and put them in. And the rest of the lemon juice, give that a good squeeze. That's lovely. Okay, now just allow that to cook down, simmer down a little bit. And then some chopped parsley. Just pick that up there. There we are. Just chop that up. That's it. This is flat leaf parsley, but if you've got curly parsley, not a problem. So take that, sprinkle that into our sauce there. That's it. Drizzle just a little bit more oil inside. That's beautiful. Add a little bit more pepper. And a touch more salt. And just let's blend that into our sauce. Beautiful. Cook down, my darling, cook down. Look at that squid there. Just roll that over. Oh, that lovely brown charcoal-y colour there. You can see that bit of a golden brown colour there. Doesn't that look beautiful? And it tastes good too. Tomatis, this is the local squid that I've stuffed. I want you to taste it and tell me what you think. Oh, just get it in your mouth, that's it.
Delicious, excellent.
Delicious, excellent. Oh dear.
Returning the hospitality, Stamatis invited me for a drink down at his local. Spiros Ouzeri. No ordinary local this. You certainly can't get a quick pint and pork scratchings. No, sir. The local brew Sapporo is a wicked version of ouzo. So, with each bottle, Spiros sends you out a different barbecue appetiser or mezzo to soak it all up. And boy, does it need soaking. And after a few rounds, it's lucky that someone else is doing the choosing for you. But it's a great way of making new friends.
How are you? Good. And you speak English? A little bit.
Yasu.
I would like to invite you to his wedding.
His wedding? You get married? Hey, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It will be a pleasure.
Fantastic.
Yamas.
Yeah.
The next day, after a righteous stag night out, I threw myself into yet more merrymaking. Oh, Nikas don't look too bad on 2 hours kit, does he? Anyway, a Greek wedding is definitely a test of stamina. Nikos and his bride Athanasia, having survived the traditional shower of rice and almonds and kissing all 1,000 islanders, had to brace themselves for a 6-hour dance marathon before being allowed to even have a little nibble of their own wedding breakfast. As a wedding gift, I decided to make them a rich, creamy and very romantic dessert to follow their traditional meal of goat and pesto. First, spoon some apricot compote into the base of a small dish, top with creamy Greek yogurt and spread evenly to cover the compote. Liberal sprinkling of sugar and caramelise using a special brulee iron. Believe me, if you like a dramatic impact, it's well worth shopping around for. And the smell is heavenly. And leave to cool for a few minutes before serving. And to complement the pudding, a perfectly romantic drink for the newlyweds. A scented liqueur, parfait amour, perfect love. Topped with some champagne and served in sugar-frosted glasses. Yamas. Join me next week for more sizzling ideas from South Africa.